Welcome back to Cheeky TV. It's your boy. So I'm making two videos like pretty much back to back because I watched the Chelsea game yesterday and I enjoyed like rewatching it and just trying to see like because obviously I watch YouTube videos, I follow different people, I watch Sky, I watch all these things and you see all these headlines and all this stuff and you actually like yourself like was that really like true, like is this like for real, like what are we doing? So you know after watching the game there was something like that stuck to me that unfortunately is gonna be something that people don't want to hear right now, or probably are some people are just not gonna want to hear it right now or not agree with me. But honestly, I think the lit, like the back line right now, until Lissandro Martinez comes back, should be Shaw, Maguire, and the lit. I think Leny needs a little more time, like developing as a player, and I I rate Leny Yoro extremely high. I think he has an absolutely bright future, and he will go down as a legend here as long as he stays a long time. I rate him extremely high, but he is an inexperienced player. Unfortunately, he's an inexperienced young player. I mean, he's 20 years old, 21 maybe at the moment. Last season was his first at the high level of the Premier League, and he didn't even start like the full season, right? He started off the season hurt, then you know, it was like kind of in and out of the lineup, and then once Amarin came, he was a little bit in the lineup more, but then he got hurt towards the end of the season for a couple of weeks. So he doesn't even have a full season of like the Premier League experience under his belt yet, and it shows. Like it's shown, unfortunately, in a couple like little instances, but especially against City, right? Like, as much as fans want to blame Amarin for whatever, or the slow start, or cry about the City game, we were in that City game. Like, the only point of that first half that I thought that City was so much better than us, or maybe dominated us, was from like the 10th minute until they scored their goal. That was like I'll say that they were on our butt. They that goal, they deserved it because they were playing really good in that like 10-minute stretch. Then after that, I felt like the game was extremely even, and we were close to scoring, like to tie it up right before half. And then we come out at second half, and we're playing extremely well. They get a throwing, and Leny, if you just go back to look at the play, starts playing, starts playing that play correctly. He's between his man and our goal, and like the middle of the field. But then for some reason, he allows himself to be on the player's back while he's turning towards our goal and to the middle of the field. That is something that as a player you never ever do. There's no way that anyone would ever tell you to do that. There's no way that Amarim told him to do that, because he did come out of that game relatively quickly after that. It didn't take that much time after he came out for after that happened for him to come out of the game. That's something that he'll learn from 100%, because when you look at it, it's so weird. He's starting to like play it correctly. He's on the right shoulder on the inside, but then right before they throw it to him, he like allows himself to just completely be shielded out, and that's just something that you cannot allow to happen. And then you see the lit come in, and it's just the lit's experience. I think the level of ability is probably the same in both, and the speed, the tackling, the passing, all of that. I think the passing, Lenny might have a little bit more available in his locker, but like the ability wise, like, I think they're both pretty much the same. The differences are that the lit is a little bit more aggressive for sure. I think Lenny is a little bit, he likes to defend, like, I wouldn't say like a prima donna, but like nicely. He does have like instances where he gets in, right? But he'll probably develop that a little bit more once he gets a little bit more muscle, because he's still a little bit skinny for, like, in my opinion, for a center back. I think he needs a little bit to bulk up just a little bit more. But he'll learn that stuff. Like, he's gonna get to the experience of the lid's 25, 26, maybe 27, possibly. He's like in that range. Like I said, Leny's 21. He's just starting his professional career. He just like is played his first real highest level of footy, because the Premier League for me is the highest level. You can play in the French league, and that's probably like 1B, but like 1A, Spain, Italy, maybe even Germany, and the Premier League. What I need in the league for it to be 1A is for there to be at least six teams that are like really good, and then like from there on at least another six that are like good to the point where they could beat anybody. And that's the Premier League. The Premier League is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's stacked. Once right now, if you would have put, let's say, Baleba on Manchester United, and we had one more year under Ruben Amorim, those four, like Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Man United, and Tottenham, those six teams are like, honestly, will look really good in a year. Like, I think, like, just player wise, squad wise, like, they're really good teams. That's six of them. And then you have like another six that are like solid: Newcastle, Aston Villa. You just have like a good group after that. That's a league that's like, that's up there. So that's why it's just the best league in the world for me. But it's his first. Last year was his first year in that, and then he had to switch between managers halfway through. He didn't really play that much with Eric Ten Hag before he got fired, because he was hurt at the beginning of the year. So it's like, he's just a little inexperienced, and you just saw that with City. Because honestly, if we don't give up that second goal right away, because we came out in the second half looking very positive. We were, again, like, just how we finished the first half. I thought we were gonna score just to like level up before half. And then in the second half, we looked very positive coming out. And then that second goal just kills you, because you're playing well. You feel like you're so close to leveling up and tying the game. And then, boom, like a goal comes out of nowhere, because it's a throw-in. Like, you don't allow a player to turn you like that, like right outside of your box from a throw-in. So it just, that little bit of inexperience cost us what I think is the game, because at that point now it's 2-0. Now you're trying to go a little forward too much. You make a couple changes, they don't get to gel in time, and they score a third one, and then boom, that's it. Like, game's over. You're playing at the Etihad. Even at 2-0, it was probably over, but like, that killed that second goal just killed us. And I don't blame him. Like, I'm not saying like, Leny, is your fault, I hate you, none of that. I'm just saying that his inexperience, unfortunately, did cost us there. Like, the whole game isn't on Leny, but that inexperience cost us that second goal, and it changed the game. It changed how the game was feeling at that point. And I think you see why, like, my reasoning and that behind the next game. The fact that Leny doesn't start again against Chelsea, and it's De Ligt, Maguire, and Shaw. And honestly, they look good together, because one, they're all experienced, and two, at least Maguire and Shaw have played together for a long time. Like, I think once Lissandro comes back, at least De Ligt and Lissandro have played at Ajax together, so they have like history of playing that position like together, and communication. So at least as long as two of those guys are like, have had experience and played together, I have a little bit more, I can trust my back line a little bit more than right now. Because right now, with Luke, De Ligt, and Yoro starting, while I think maybe they're the best players to start right now at the positions, right? Like, for each position, like, I think De Ligt is better than Maguire by a little bit, by just like a little bit. Because I do rate Maguire. I think Maguire is a good player. I just, there's something about De Ligt that I just like a little bit more than Maguire, right? and Lenny's better at that position than most of the players in that spot, I think. And Shaw is, without Lissandro there, he is right now. So, but if you switch it to Delit and Lissandro with Leny, just because they had that experience with each other, that time playing together, one player not having, you know, just that one player not being, that's okay. You know, you can at least live with that, because this guy in the middle, like Delit, wouldn't have to worry too much about his left side, because he's gonna be more comfortable with that player. If you saw the interview of Rio Ferdinand talking about Gary Neville, he says, I didn't have to worry about behind me when the ball was on the left side of the field. Up, like if they're coming this way, obviously the right side from the other team. But he said when the team was on the opposite side, he didn't have to worry about the back, like behind him, like where his defender was, whether he was behind him, to know that if a ball's coming, there would be somebody there. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about, is where the Lit might not have to worry about Lissandro and where he's going to be, so he can at least like cover for Leny in certain instances. Right now, he doesn't have that because him and Shaw haven't played together. Like, sure, the Lit was here a whole season last year, but Shaw was hurt all the way up until like the last month of the season, right? Like last month and a half. So they don't have experience playing real games together, like not enough. And then Leny and Delit, they played, but it was like sometimes Maguire and Leny, and sometimes Maguire and Delit. Sometimes it was just like a carousel of stuff. So it's like, did they get the right amount of, like, you know, time to play together? You could just see it's just an inexperience. I think a lot of fans might not want to hear this, but I think Leny should. I think that should be our back line right now, and I think Leny will play against teams that maybe aren't as, like a Sunderland, maybe like Brentford. Like, I would say that he should start all those games to continue to get the experience and like the game time with those players. But I don't think like Tottenham, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, those games, I think you sit him in certain times. Maybe if we're playing better as a team, and maybe like towards the end of the season, if we're playing one of those teams and Sesko, Cunha, and Bomo have clicked and they're playing well, and we're playing well as a team, yeah, you're playing Leny in those games, because now we as a team are playing well. We had been playing kind of well, but those front three hadn't clicked yet. You know, that's the thing that I'd wait for, is that click up front between those three players when we're scoring goals. Because now, if you're scoring goals, if you give up a goal, you're not as like, it doesn't really matter as much, because you know you have the ability to score goals. So it's not like as a killer to the psyche or to the emotions of the game, right? Because right now we're in a spot where we know we're struggling to score goals, right? So when you give up a goal, it deals that much more of a blow, right? Like when you're not scoring goals and the other team scores, it's like just getting a left hook. It just gives you like a nut shot, maybe. Just it gives you like, damn, and then you start having bad thoughts. But when you're a team that's playing well and scoring goals, you give up a goal, you're like, nah, let's go, we're gonna score, we'll just score again. And that's where we could be later on in the season. So if we're there, it doesn't matter if he commits a couple little like errors based off an experience, because I rate him highly. He's just gonna get that experience. Once he gets that, I don't think he commits that error again. I really don't. So it's just that. But right now, that inexperience can't cost us games, right? Can't lead to like games being lost. And that's why I think you'll see a little bit less of Leny going, like, for the next like couple months. We'll see if I'm right, but it just looked like you can see it. You can see that inexperience is just, he'll get there though. He's a fantastic young player. I can't wait for him to be like 23, 24. He's going to be a boss. He's going to be one of the best center backs in the world, but he is a little inexperienced. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm not trying to be negative against Leny. Leny, I love you. You're absolutely a star in the making. But experience does come with time. That's it. Game time and time. It just comes with that. You just need a little bit more before you can take over and be that guy. I think the Lit should take over for that. I think for this season and even next season, I would start like Maguire and the Lit, and like Lissandro, and have like Haven, Lenny, and somebody else in that center back like be playing the cup games and stuff, and like grow together. So that way, like once we're ready for new center backs in like 2-3 years time, those young guys are like together, like have gelled together for a couple of years and are ready to just take over because they're all young, and I'm excited about their future too. So let's just like allow them to grow while we grow. So I'm excited. Kill me in the comments. Give me your just give me your feedback. Tell me why you would think that I'm wrong, or if I'm wrong. If you think I'm right, say what you would like. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a great day, guys.